I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, August the 3rd, 2015. Following the deadly terror attack last week that left a Palestinian baby dead and his family members severely wounded, Israel's Security Cabinet met yesterday and adopted several recommendations which give law enforcement agencies new tools with which to combat Jewish terrorism. Jewish right-wing extremists are suspected in the attack in the Arab village of Duma, setting fire to 2 homes, killing 1.5-year-old Ali Dawabsha and critically injuring his parents and brother. The cabinet released a statement after the meeting saying that it views the arson and murder in Duma as an act of terror in every aspect, and that all necessary measures are being used to find those responsible for the incident and bring them to justice, as well as to prevent similar incidents in the future. The cabinet is said to have okayed stronger interrogation methods when dealing with Jewish terror suspects and also approved measures like the use of administrative detention against them, which allows security forces to hold a suspect without charging them. A 16-year-old Israeli girl who was stabbed last week at the Gay Pride Parade in Jerusalem has died. Shira Boni was critically wounded on Thursday after being stabbed during the parade by suspected Jewish attacker Yishai Schlissel, who called the parade's marchers sinners. Schlissel carried out a similar attack 10 years ago when he stabbed 3 Israelis at the 2005 Gay Pride Parade in the city. He served 10 years in prison and was freed just a month ago. He was arrested right after the attack and remains jailed. Boni had sustained critical injuries during the attack on Thursday. She succumbed to her wounds yesterday and was laid to rest this evening. And in the wake of the deadly attacks in Duma and in Jerusalem, a solidarity rally was held Saturday night in Jerusalem's Zion Square, uniting against violence and promoting tolerance. Israel's President Reuven Rivlin addressed the crowd in Jerusalem, telling them that, quote, flames of violence, hatred, and twisted beliefs are engulfing the land, and that they cannot be extinguished with weak condemnations or with rallies or denial. Rivlin said a much more determined, decisive, and clear effort was needed from the educational system to law enforcement to the country's leaders. He said the Israel of the Declaration of Independence, the Israel of the vision of the prophets, of compassion and mercy, today needs a wake-up call. Rivlin said, we will not be zealots, we will not be bullies, we will not become a state of anarchy. Rallies and memorials also took place elsewhere in the country, including in Gush Etzion in the West Bank, which brought together Arab leaders, rabbis, and Israeli politicians, including Yesh Atid party leader Yair Lapid, who told those gathered that there is no God that permits the murder of children, not a Jewish God, a Christian God, or a Muslim God. That gathering was initiated by Shorashim, a joint Israeli-Palestinian coexistence organization based in the area. And a group of Jews from the group Tag Meir, or Tag of Light organization, which works against anti-Arab racism, visited the home of the Dawabsha family in Duma yesterday to express their deep condolences. Meanwhile, Jewish organizations here in the United States expressed their outrage over both the attack at the parade and that in Duma on the Palestinian family, commending the Israeli government's condemnation of the attacks and echoing the call for swift justice. Leaders of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, Chairman Stephen Greenberg and Executive Vice Chairman and CEO Malcolm Hoenlein, said the attacks must be met with determined action to prevent violence, apprehend perpetrators, and hold to account those who engage in incitement. AIPAC said in a statement about the Duma attack that terror, whatever the source, must be given no quarter. Executive Director of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris, called the Duma attack pure evil and said whoever carried out this appalling deed must be apprehended and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. B'nai B'rith International called it brazen and abominable, saying it cannot be tolerated in any society. National Director of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, and Director of the ADL's Israel office, Carol Nuriel, said that expressions of outrage are no longer enough. They said it must be made clear by community and religious leaders that, quote, any act of hate and violence is unacceptable, un-Jewish, and that anyone involved in such incidents will be shunned by the community, let alone prosecuted to the full extent of the law. The Orthodox Union said Duma was a heinous act that offends all people of goodwill and violates basic Jewish values. And the Jewish Council for Public Affairs said these attacks rip at the fabric of Israeli society, our shared celebration of pluralism and diversity and core Jewish values. At the same time, the JCPA said they expressed their confidence in the Israeli justice system, noting the recent indictment of 2 Israeli extremists for the arson attack on the Church of the Multiplication of the Loaves and Fishes in northern Israel. And looking now at our programming for tonight here on JBS, Monday, August the 3rd at 7 o'clock, Dr. Ruth Westheimer talks about her memories of the Holocaust and about the Museum of Jewish Heritage in New York City. At 8 o'clock, the Jerusalem Post's Caroline Glick debates Haaretz journalist Ari Shavit on the viability of the two-state solution from the 2015 American Jewish Committee Global Forum in Washington. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with IDF Sergeant in Reserve Benjamin Anthony of Our Soldiers Speak on L'chaim, followed at 10:15 by best-selling author of The Red Tent, Anita Diamond from the 92nd Street Y. And also just to let you know that tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern, JBS will broadcast live an address by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the Iranian nuclear deal. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, August the 3rd, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.